Yo, this is your favorite friendly neighborhood Toronto, and today we're going to be talking about the importance of backwards compatibility and what it means for the upcoming generation of consoles. Ever since Microsoft announced that the Xbox Series X will support a list of games going all the way back to the OG Xbox, that's right, we're talking about the OG Xbox, Xbox 360, and the Xbox One. We've had quite a debate on our hands with how important it is to have backwards compatibility as a feature. For me, it's not that important, but let me explain. As for someone who has had the first gen PlayStation 3 with the Motion Engine chip, I did use the backwards compatibility feature, as this was actually how I got to play both God of War 1 and God of War 2. After that, I never used it again though. During this generation, there have been a few times where I wanted to go back and play a game like Heavenly Sword. Couldn't do it on the PS4, but I still had my PS3, so I just plopped it in there and played it there. Now, I get that consoles and tech get worn down and could stop working, so to circumvent that problem, we've had streaming services which now allow you to download these games to your system to overcome the latency issues that naturally come with online usage of any kind. I know there are people in rural areas and that can be a problem, as internet connectivity is not widespread and available at high speeds. Now, don't get me confused, I'm not here trying to say backwards compatibility is not a good feature, but that's not the reason anyone goes into next generation of console primarily wanting. Like, you get a next gen console to play next gen games. Now, with the blow up of games as a service and persistent game worlds, to keep those games alive, current generation consoles need to be able to support them in a way that is seamless. That is why the current gen PS4 and Xbox One are more fully supported. And you want to make sure that you can still bring the install base from those consoles over to the new one without losing them to the competition. It's definitely a feature that's nice having if you want, but it's not a critical thing to the purchase of these machines, excluding games like Fortnite or games of that ilk, since players are so heavily invested into those game accounts. Now, I had to make this video because I've been having way too many debates on backwards compatibility and people making it sound like it's really the end all be all, which obviously I don't agree with. More so specifically the support for the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 and the Xbox OG and the 360, as I do think that for about the next 2 years, next gen compatibility is important. It's going to allow people to still complete their backlog of games during the drought that usually accompanies a console's launch year, and being able to stay plugged into the communities players have built in a lot of these online games. Many think that Sony's dropping the ball if they don't support older generation games natively, since they do have the PlayStation Now service, which allows players to still get the retro gaming fix if they need it. For me, I think Sony has the data for how much backwards compatibility was actually used on the PS3. And then thinking about when they removed it, allowing the console to be cheaper, the PS3 sales started to gain momentum, and having the PS4 be so successful without it shows that it's not really a must-have feature, since success has been achieved without it. On the Xbox side of things, I believe the landscape is just completely different over there, as the Xbox One didn't have many Xbox exclusive games to play in the first place, so to fill that void, older generation titles were used. This brought about many innovations with updating the games to run with better performance and in some cases have better graphical fidelity. Now, it's funny to me how some people even bring the argument that if Sony does bring full backwards compatibility, that's somehow Xbox paving the way, like PS2 didn't have backwards compatibility, or PS3 originally didn't, then ridicule Sony for removing the feature to lower the cost of the console when they saw that not enough people were using it to take advantage of, but then defend the removal of the digital output on the Xbox Series X, as Phil Spencer said that not enough people were using it to justify the cost of adding it into the console. Like, bruh. But just to wrap all of this up, I think backwards compatibility is a good thing and a nice bonus to have to add to the console's value. What Xbox is doing with back compat is amazing, and adding features like HDR to all backwards compatible games through the hardware is super innovative. But at the same time, let's remember it's not the end all be all. We buy next generation systems for next generation games. The backwards compatibility that really matters is the PS4 and the Xbox One, which will both be there. And it's not just, oh my gosh, and it's not just the 100 games that are going to be working on the PS5. Let's just make that clear. What Sony was saying was that most of the PS4's library will work on the PS5. Now, What they did was test 100 games so far to see if they would be able to take advantage of the PS5's higher clock speeds and architecture. If the games don't work at those specs, the system will then go into the PS4 or PS4 Pro mode to run those games correctly. I mean, it's just not complicated. Mark Cerny, on the road to PS5, stated that backwards compatibility was integral for AMD while designing the GPU. So can we please just move past this whole 100 games thing? Anyways guys, let me know how important backwards compatibility is to you and what would be your top 3 games to play using this feature. And as always, do that in the comments below. So thank you for those who made it through to the end of this video. I'd appreciate it if you can share, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of the new videos that get uploaded. Again, every like is really appreciated as it does a lot in helping me grow this channel. I will have all the details on where you can follow everything Toronto in the description below. That's everything for now, so it's not bye. Bye, see you later on the next one. And I'm out!